Live and all set for basketball here at Nutting Gymnasium inside Hummel Fieldhouse for today's non-conference matchup between the visiting Penn State-Altoona Lions and your Bethany Bison. Hello everyone, Drew Von Sayo here with you on this chilly November afternoon. The Lions are coming off of their first win of the season and also the first win under first-year head coach Haley Adams after defeating Penn College 63-46. Prior to that, Penn State-Altoona had dropped their first three contests of the regular season. Leading the way for the Lions is the 6-foot senior forward and center Alexis Canish-Tracy from Tyrone, Pennsylvania. She went 11 for 19 on field goals Thursday night at Penn College and also recorded 15 points last Saturday against Geneseo at home. As for the Bison, they're winners of the last two times they've taken the court, with the most recent being Tuesday night at Penn State New Kensington when they came out on top 81-22. In their pair of wins this season, the Bison have outscored the opponents by a combined score of 167-56. The 5'7" freshman from Triadelphia, West Virginia, Lindsey Garrison, leads the Bison this afternoon as she set the school record on Tuesday with 9 3-pointers, breaking the previous record of 8. Our officiating crew this afternoon are referee Chad Titus and our two umpires Brad Rober and Josh Tharp. The Bison, of course, looking to make it 3 straight wins as they only have 2 non-conference games left after today. Those, of course, taking place in the stretch between Christmas and New Year's when they head to Southeast Ohio against Marietta when they take on the likes of Carnegie Mellon and Worcester in the Marietta tournament. Have about a minute to go here in warm-ups before we send it downstairs to Erica Sansom for the official introduction of the starting lineups. Of course, the Bison sporting their all-gold home uniforms with green trim, green numbers on both the front and back. Penn State-Altoona in all-navy with white trim and white numbers. Warm-ups have concluded as both teams made their way to the bench. We're going to send it down now to Erica Sansom for the official introduction of the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. There you have it, the official introduction of today's starting lineups. Our officiating crew once more here for you. Chad Titus, our referee, our two umpires, Brad Raber and Josh Tharp. Official starting lineups you just heard, I'll run through them once more as well. For Penn State-Altoona, Megan Hartman, Sarah Houston, Alexis Canis-Tracy, Ellie Matthews, Emily Marinez. As for the Bison, it's Lindsay Garrison, Courtney Walker, Ashley Wheeler, Mackenzie Mason, and Taylor Stinnett. Of course, for the Bison, Kelsey Mintel, taking part in warm-ups, has not played for Bethany since the opener against Muskingum. Was on the bench at Penn State New Kensington, but did not appear. As it'll be the Bison controlling the opening tip, and we're underway here in the opening frame as Ashley Wheeler dribbles to the left wing, lays it off to Stinnett. Garrison driving into the paint, kicking it out to Mason in the left corner. Three-pointer from Mason, that one off the rim, brought down by Stinnett. Shot clock will reset as Garrison driving into the paint once more. Layup for Garrison, rebounded by Matthews, and now Penn State-Altoona pushing the other way. Setting it up for Houston. Hartman going back to Houston, rather Marinez. Matthews at the far elbow, laying it off to Houston. Going back inside to Marinez. Marinez now driving into the paint, going cross court. That one will deflect off the hands of Ellie Matthews as Bethany regains possession 47 seconds into the opening 10 minutes. See Ashley Wheeler getting some instructions from head coach Brian Sansom in his 6th year as the Bison head coach, picking up career win number 50 in the 81-22 decision over Penn State New Kensington, as it's Stinnett and Hartman jumping on the ball, forcing that jump ball. Possession arrow going with the Lions, so Penn State-Altoona will be set to take over. 8:57 to go in quarter number 1. It'll be Megan Hartman, the sophomore from Claysburg, Pennsylvania, bringing the ball over half court as Houston drives into the paint. Strong defense there from Lindsay Garrison. Now Mackenzie Mason quickly pushing the other way, kicking it out to Wheeler. Three-point attempt from Wheeler. That one off the rim and backboard, controlled by Marinez. Quickly going the opposite way, trying to feed it into Hartman, just a bit too far out of her reach. And the Bison will take over with possession once more. Still no score, 8:29 to go in the opening 10 minutes as Ashley Wheeler gives commands, feeding the ball inside to Stinnett. Mason faking the three, now driving inside, spinning around, putting up the jumper, and that one good for Mackenzie Mason as the Bison open the scoring. You see the Bison utilizing their full court press once again as Hartman and Matthews go back and forth. Houston at the right wing, feeding it inside to Matthews. And now Marina is caught with the double dribble. So the Bison will be taking over on possession much sooner than they anticipated, as the shot clock was nowhere near its expiration. Courtney Walker inbounding to Ashley Wheeler. Feeding inside to Walker. To Garrison at the far side wing. Now Garrison kicking it out to Stinnett, going to Walker, same spot, three-point attempt for Walker. That one in and out, brought down finally by Canis-Tracy. As the Lions quickly push forward, Houston leading the charge, feeding it to Matthews. Now Hartman, three-point attempt from Hartman. That one off the backboard, controlled by Courtney Walker. She goes the opposite way. 7:23 to go in the first. 2-0 Bethany leading over Penn State-Altoona. Wheeler, strong defense there from Marinez. Garrison faking the three. Courtney Walker at the near side wing. 5 on the shot clock, kicking it out to Mason. Mason gonna drive inside, layup attempt for Mason, and she draws the foul in the process. We see our referee Chad Titus signaling to the score table the foul going up against Alexis Canis-Tracy. That'll be her first of the game. Mason makes her first three-point attempt. Mason 14 for 16 coming into today, now 15 for 17 after that first one. As she makes it 16 for 18. And the Bison tack on 2 more as we see Lexi Heap check into the game for Courtney Walker. First substitution made for Brian Sansom. Rather, it'll be Taylor Stinnett exiting as Courtney Walker took Stinnett's position on the court. Marines finding Ellie Matthews. Her three-point attempt off the rim brought down by Houston. Kicking it to Hartman at the left wing. Her three-point attempt right down the middle as the net barely even moved. Just like that, Penn State-Altoona cutting the Bison lead to 1. Wheeler dancing, dribbling into the paint, kicking it out to Mason. Mason jumper. That one just missing, brought down by Matthews. She pushes the ball forward for the Lions, feeding it to Hartman at the near wing. Three-point attempt from Hartman. That one off the rim and in. As Megan Hartman, the sophomore from Claysburg, in 2 possessions has gotten Penn State-Altoona out in front with 6:08 to go in the opening frame. Lindsey Garrison at the right wing, surveying, finding Lexi Heap, feeding it to Ashley Wheeler at the left wing. Wheeler driving inside, jumper there from Wheeler off the backboard, rebounded by Marines. She will push forward now, slow it down, feeding it to Matthews at the left wing. Going cross court to Hartman, defended by Lindsey Garrison, going inside to Candace Tracy, feeding it to Matthews, layup attempt, no good, controlled by Courtney Walker. Garrison faking the three-point attempt, now recycling, going back to Ashley Wheeler. Wheeler finding Garrison, over to Lexi Heap at the far wing. Heap going back to Courtney Walker, who lays it off for Mackenzie Mason. Going to Wheeler, 8 on the shot clock. Mason driving inside, layup attempt for Mason. That'll ricochet off the rim and in for Mackenzie Mason. Bison going with their full court press as Houston feeds it up to Matthews, lays it off for Marines. Her three-point attempt, that one off the backboard and the rim, controlled by Lexi Heap with 4:53 to go in the first. Heap now gonna go coast to coast. That layup attempt off the rim and in for Lexi Heap. As Hartman will inbound for Marines. Going back to Hartman, now cross court to Houston. Candace Tracy driving inside, feeding it to Matthews, trying to put it up. That'll take a deflection off of Ashley Wheeler. You see Taylor Stinnett check back into the game for Mackenzie Mason. Lexi Reed in place of Lindsey Garrison. And we see Emma Kitko for the first time in place of Emily Marines. Three-point attempt from Houston. That one off the rim, brought down by Reed. She feeds it up quickly to Wheeler. Wheeler now scanning, surveying, looking for options. She'll bring it back up to the point. Going to the right wing to Reed. Reed going back up to Heat, now to Wheeler at the left wing. Stinnett in the left corner, driving inside into the paint, and Stinnett being caught with the travel. As we see Jordan Bizignani enter in place of Megan Hartman for the Lions. Bizignani, the freshman guard from Venetia, Pennsylvania, a Peters Township High School product. Of course, Penn State-Altoona doing a fantastic job so far, escaping the Bison full court press. As the jumper from Candace Tracy, that'll bounce off the rim a pair of times and drop down. We're tied at 8 with 3:41 to go. Reed at the right wing, goes back to Ashley Wheeler. She'll hold the ball, feed inside to Walker, who will give it right back to Wheeler. Walker calling for her once more, will not get. Wheeler calls out the plays for her teammates, going inside to Stinnett in the paint. Layup attempt there for Stinnett, and it's good. Stinnett will go for the and one, as it's Candace Tracy called with her second foul of the game. You see Emily Marines enter in place of Candace Tracy, already with 2 fouls. As Stinnett now to the line for the and one. You see Stinnett have her free throw bounce off the rim, controlled by Wheeler. Stinnett feeds it to Mason at the left wing. Heap in the left corner, 15 on the shot clock. Heap driving inside, kicking it out to Mason. And now Mason going to drive inside, layup attempt for Mason, controlled by Matthews. She'll push the ball forward. Now Kitco operating the Penn State-Altoona offense, going back to Matthews. Now Houston at the point. Matthews once more, now driving inside, feeding an underneath pass to Houston. She'll put the layup down and good. Mackenzie Mason called with the foul, and now Sarah Houston going to the line for the and one. As we see Lindsey Garrison enter in place of Ashley Wheeler. And now Coach Adams going to be making a substitution here soon as Houston completes the three-point play. Megan Hartman entering for Sarah Houston, who had just completed said three-point play. When Stinnett was taking her free throw attempt a few minutes ago, we saw head coach Haley Adams giving her some instructions down on the sidelines in regards to staying out of foul trouble. 2:32 left to go as Mason feeds it to Stinnett. Stinnett three-point attempt, that'll ricochet off the rim, controlled by Matthews. Feeding it forward to Kitco, who brings the ball under the Bison half of the court, laying it off for Bisignani. She'll go cross court near side to Matthews. Her three-point attempt, that'll bounce off the rim, contested for by Heap. Stinnett trying to save it, but cannot, as it'll go off of head coach Brian Sansom in the process. And now he's ultimately going to call a 30-second timeout with 2:10 to go in the first. That'll be the first one of the game for either side, as Coach Sansom ultimately trying to get his side to reset as they trail by 1, 7:50 into the opening quarter. And ultimately for the Bison, this game very important for them to keep their win streak going heading into conference play. Their next matchup set to be Wednesday, December 1st at Franciscan, who the Bison defeated in the opening round of the PAC tournament last semester. As it'll be Hartman inbounding for Marines. She'll go near side to Hartman. Three-point attempt from Hartman, missing the net completely. Mason will push the ball forward. Mason turning her back to the hoop. Going back to Stinnett. Stinnett laying it off for Mason at the left wing. Mason spinning, driving into the paint. Will pivot, lay it off for Lexi Reed. Reed going inside to Stinnett. 7 on the shot clock. Stinnett with the layup, converts the field goal, and now Stinnett will go to the line for her second and one. The foul going against Ellie Matthews, her first of the game. The Bison back up 12-11. Stinnett looking to double the lead, as she does successfully. 13-11 Bison with 1:35 to go. Mason heavy pressure, against Emma Kitco. Marines in the left corner, laying it up to Matthews, who will slow things down for the Lions. Going right side to Bisignani. Going inside once more to Matthews, who will kick it out to Hartman. 9 on the shot clock, pass intercepted by Stinnett. She'll feed the ball quickly up for Mackenzie Mason. Mason kicking it out to Heap at the left wing. Heap spinning, driving into the paint, kick out for Mason. Three-point attempt for Mackenzie Mason. That'll bounce off the rim, controlled by Ellie Matthews, the 5'10 freshman from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. And now Marines pushes the ball forward. Bisignani finding Hartman, her three-point attempt. That'll bounce off the rim. Hartman rebounding herself. That one off the backboard once more. Scramble for the ball. It'll bounce off of Marines and out for a Bison possession. We see Courtney Walker enter in place of Stinnett. Anaya Phillips entering for the first time for the Lions in place of Ellie Matthews. 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bison ahead by 2, 13-11. Mason will run the offense this time for the Bison as she feeds the ball inside to Heap. Layup attempt for Lexi Heap off the backboard and in. Bisignani scanning, surveying for options, trying to find someone, able to find Phillips. Shot clock off with 18 to go. Phillips was trying to feed it quickly into Kitco, but just too much on the pass. So the Bison will get one last possession before the opening 10 minutes is set to expire. Bison ahead by 4, 15 to 11. Less than 10 to go. Mason trying to feed it. Her pass tipped, but Heap able to receive. Jumper there from Lexi Heap. That one will just clear the rim and bounce in. That's how the opening quarter will end. Bison ahead 17 to 11. And what an effective timeout by head coach Brian Sansom. A Bison going on a 7-0 run to end the quarter. When the timeout was called, the Bison were down by 1. Now they lead at the break by 6. The Bison, of course, mentioned already, looking to make it 3 straight wins after dropping their season opener at Muskingum. But a credit to the Penn State-Altoona Lions for being able to break down this Bethany full court press. When I talked to Coach Sansom after the home opener against Allegheny, he talked about how the full court press was something that assistant coach Jen Windmiller wanted to incorporate this year, as the guard play ultimately has allowed them to turn to that consistently, the leadership along with the communication. But the Lions using communication of their own to ultimately break it down along with off-the-ball movement. We've seen the Lions constantly making the hand gesture to talk with their teammates. We'll see Alexis Canis-Tracy back on the court for first-year head coach Haley Adams. Heap will inbound the ball to Lindsey Garrison. Talked about Lindsey Garrison in the pregame breaking the school record for 9 three-point attempts in that game as she tries to put the layup. It won't go, brought down by Ellie Matthews. Talk more about Lindsey Garrison here in the Bison next possession. As Matthews with the ball at the right wing, feeding it inside to Canis-Tracy. She'll lay it off for Marines. Marines driving inside, going back to Canis-Tracy in the paint. Layup attempt there, brought down by Heap. In regards to Lindsey Garrison, she now owns the three-point record in one game at 2 schools, 9 here at Bethany College, along with 12 at her alma mater in Wheeling Park High School. As she'll feed the ball to Heap, 3-point attempt for Courtney Walker, drills it. A Bison continuing to extend their lead, now ahead by 9. As Lindsey Garrison caught with the foul. That'll be her first of the game. Marines will inbound to Hartman, who goes right back to Marines, feeding inside to Matthews. Her layup attempt no good, brought down by Canis-Tracy. And in Courtney Walker's defense, ultimately drawing the foul, so Matthews. It's right the first time. Alexis Canis-Tracy going to the free throw line. Canis-Tracy 22 for 25 on the season from the charity stripe, as her first one is sunk to make it 23 for 26. Second one for Canis-Tracy up and good, make it 24 for 27 for the senior from Tyrone, Pennsylvania, as Ashley Wheeler enters to give Lexi Reed a breather. And it'll be Wheeler bringing the ball over half court for Bethany, operating from the right wing, feeding it to Mason at the point. Mason driving inside. She'll kick it out to Heap at the point. Now Heap going to give it a go, driving inside. Mason faking the 3 from the left corner. Layup attempt from McKenzie. Mason off the rim and in. Penn State-Altoona trying to quickly inbound. Lexi Heap caught with kicking the ball as she stuck the leg out to prevent a quick pass, as the Lions look to catch the Bison in transition. Houston will inbound to Hartman, who goes right back to Houston. Playing one over the top of Wheeler to Marines, feeding inside to Candace Tracy. And Candace Tracy called with the charge. Mackenzie Mason holding her ground. That's textbook defense right there from Mackenzie Mason. As we'll see Bisignani enter in place of Candace Tracy, coming to the sidelines frustrated. Already 3 fouls on the afternoon for her. Bison ahead by 9 with 8:19 left to go in the first half. Courtney Walker laying it off for Garrison, driving into the paint. Kick out. Mason, her three-point attempt won't go. Brought down by Hartman, who draws hard contact from Courtney Walker. Records her second foul of the quarter and the game. And now Taylor Stinnett will come in to give her a breather. We'll see Emma Kitko enter in place of Megan Hartman. Houston will inbound to Marines. Now Penn State-Altoona going the opposite way as Kitko lays it off to Bisignani. Her jumper, that one off the rim, controlled by Matthews. Right back to Bisignani. That one will miss entirely off the backboard, brought down by Lindsey Garrison. She'll push the ball forward now for Bethany. 7:46 to go. Feed it to Stinnett at the near wing. Going to Mason in the right corner. Mason driving inside, layup attempt there for Mackenzie Mason, and Mason will score the field goal, head to the line for the and one as she looks set to complete the three-point play. Foul being drawn by Emily Marines. That'll be her first of the afternoon. As Mason has her free throw bank off the backboard, controlled by Stinnett. The Bison will get a fresh shot clock as Ashley Wheeler will call out instructions, feed the ball inside to Heap. Heap driving into the paint, jumper there for Heap off the backboard and in. The Bison ahead by 13 with 7:20 to go in the first half. Marines will bring the ball over half court. Lay it off to Houston at the right wing. Houston going to Bisignani at the point. Scanning, surveying, laying it off for Marines. She'll go cross court to Houston. Her three-point attempt, that'll be right down the middle as the Lions cut the deficit to 10. Bison looking to quickly get those points back. 6:48 to go. Wheeler will feed inside to Stinnett, who will kick out to Mason at the right wing. And now play blown dead as Marines will be caught with her second foul. It'll be Wheeler set to inbound for the Bison. Running out of time, we'll just throw it up, feed it to Mason, the first one to retrieve. As Mason had to go over half court to ultimately regain possession. She'll feed it inside to Stinnett. Stinnett will bounce it out to Wheeler. Her three-point attempt from the right wing. That'll bounce off the rim and backboard. And now Stinnett, the guilty party, as she's caught with the hand check. It'll be Emily Marines bringing the ball over half court now for Penn State-Altoona. Trying to feed inside to Kitko, does get just enough on it to get it into Kitko's hands. Now Marines with the layup attempt brought down by Stinnett. Wheeler going cross court far side to Garrison. And now Lindsey Garrison called with the travel. So Penn State-Altoona will quickly regain possession once more, as Lexi Reed will enter in place of Mackenzie Mason. Bison ahead by 10, 26-16. 4 minutes into the second quarter as Marines will go to Houston at the right wing. Now Houston gonna dribble inside, lay it off to Matthews. Her jumper, pitch perfect, as the Bison lead trimmed to just 8. Ashley Wheeler now having the pick set for her by Lexi Heap. She'll drive, layup attempt there for Wheeler, off the backboard and in. Bison reestablish a 10-point lead. Marines will feed it to Bisignani. Going back to Matthews. Her three-point attempt off the rim, controlled by Heap. Heap will push the ball forward quickly for the Bison. Now she'll turn back, drop it to Wheeler, goes right wing to Reed. Reed going to Wheeler at the left wing. Now Wheeler going to slow things down, bark out some plays. She'll try to feed it inside to Heap. Tipped right into her hands. Jumper from the free throw line for Heap. That'll bounce off the rim. Controlled by Stinnett on the floor. Kick out to Reed. Now Ashley Wheeler driving inside. Her jumper off the backboard and in, as Ashley Wheeler gets the Bison back ahead by 12 with 4:40 to go in the half. Kitco from the left wing will lay it back off to Bisignani. Houston at the right wing. And now Coach Sansom calling a 30-second timeout. 4:29 to go in the half. Bison ahead by 12. Of course, mentioned head coach Brian Sansom picking up career win number 50 for the Bison against Penn State New Kensington. This timeout actually called by Penn State-Altoona. But Coach Sansom looking for career win number 51 this afternoon, ahead of the Thanksgiving break for his squad. As Houston will inbound the ball to Kitco. Going right back to Houston from the right corner. Three-point attempt off the rim, controlled by Bisignani in the left corner. Kitco feeding it to the point for Matthews. Going right back to Bisignani at the left wing. 8 on the shot clock. Marines under some pressure. Houston driving into the paint. She'll feed it to Bisignani. Will try to put the ball up. Brought down by Sophie Morey, who intercepted that pass. Lindsey Garrison layup attempt off the backboard and in. Quick transition there for the Bison, catching the Lions napping as Marines shows a nice bit of skill going behind the back. She'll kick it out to Houston. Three-point attempt from the right corner. That one off the rim and in. Bison still ahead by 11 with 3:36 to go in the first half. Wheeler will inbound to Lexi Reed, who will set up shop for Bethany. Reed now dancing at the left wing, feeding it to Wheeler at the point. Pick there from Mason, trying to put the ball up, cannot, as Jordan Bisignani will be the guilty party for Penn State-Altoona. Wheeler will be inbounding as officiating crew signaling that she was not in the process of putting the ball up towards the rim. No shooting foul against Bisignani. Morey at the left wing, feeding it to Garrison. Heavy pressure from her by Houston. Now Morey going to Mason at the right wing. 9 on the shot clock. Mason driving inside. Still with possession is Mackenzie Mason. She'll kick out to Lexi Reed. Reed will put the ball up. That'll bounce off the rim. Brought down by Morey. Shot clock reset. Off the backboard and in for Sophie Morey. Her first 2 points off the bench. Bison ahead by 13. 2:49 to go in the half. Marines will bring the ball. Set up Penn State-Altoona's offense. Houston in the left corner on the near side. Feeding it back up top to Matthews. She'll dribble into the perimeter. Now Kitco laying it off to Matthews. Shot clock at 8. Houston dancing, scanning, surveying, feeding it inside to Matthews. Jumper there from Matthews. That'll bounce off the rim. Controlled by Mackenzie Mason. She'll quickly push the Bison forward. Feed it up to Ashley Wheeler. She'll drive inside the paint. Jumper there from Wheeler. Off the backboard and in. And now she'll go to the line for the and one. Much to the frustration of Haley Adams in terms of her team's defensive structure and discipline for that matter. So we see Anaya Phillips enter in place of Marines. Third time Marines in this quarter has gotten the foul called against her. Ashley Wheeler's free throw to complete the three-point play, up and good. Bison ahead by 16 with 2:12 to go. Houston feeding the ball to Bisignani at the left wing. Laying it off to Phillips. Phillips driving inside. Heavy pressure from Lindsey Garrison. She'll go right back to Matthews. Now Bisignani at the left wing. 5 on the shot clock, trying to drive inside. And Bisignani, the guilty party, with an offensive foul. That will allow the Bison to regain possession without seeing any points against them on the scoreboard. Ashley Wheeler running the offense this time, feeding it inside to Mason. Three-point attempt for Lindsey Garrison. That'll bounce off the rim right into the hands of Sarah Houston. She'll quickly push the ball the other way. Houston laying it off to Matthews. Matthews at the free throw line, dropping it back to Houston at the right wing, going to Phillips in the far side corner, going right back to Matthews at the right wing. Bisignani driving inside, kicking it out to Kitco. Her three-point attempt, that'll bounce off the rim, controlled cleanly by Ashley Wheeler. She'll go the other way, minute 10 to go. Wheeler trying to go coast to coast, put it up off the backboard, no good. Morey, the second attempt, once again off the backboard, no good. Houston will control and slow things down for the Lions with under a minute to go in the first half. 22-second difference between game clock and shot clock. It's Kitco from the right wing, now moves to the point. She'll lay it off for Phillips, going to Bisignani in the left corner on the near side. Shot clock down to single digits. Cross-court pass to Matthews. Her three-point attempt off the rim, controlled by Morey. Brian Stinson quickly pushing his squad forward. Wheeler feeding it up to Garrison. Now Garrison driving into the paint. Her layup attempt sent out of play by Ellie Matthews. The Bison will continue to have possession with 22 on the shot clock. It'll be Wheeler to inbound. Surveying, scanning. Just throw that one up. Controlled by Lexi Reed at the right wing. Morey feeding to Mason. Mason driving centrally, laying it off to Wheeler. Wheeler turning back, kicking it out to Mason. Now Mason going to drive into the paint, ultimately losing possession, controlled by Ellie Matthews. Shot clock off with 14 to go. Matthews will slow things down, lay it off to Houston at the right wing. Houston feeding it inside to Matthews. 2 on the game clock. Matthews will just put it up, have it bounce off the rim, and that's how the half will end, with an Ellie Matthews jumper, but the Bison still ahead by 14, a score of 37-23. 15-minute halftime. You're watching women's basketball on the Bethany Broadcasting Network, streamed live on YouTube. We're back for coverage of the second half here inside Nutting Gymnasium at Hummel Fieldhouse between the visiting Penn State-Altoona Lions and your Bethany Bison. Bethany, of course, ahead 37-23 after the opening 20 minutes, but still 20 to go for head coach Haley Adams and her squad. We take a look at the halftime stats. Of course, mentioned the score already. The Bison 16 of 34 in terms of field goals compared to just 8 of 28 for the Lions. However, Penn State-Altoona has the significant edge over the Bison as they are 4 of 13 from 3 compared to just 1 of 9 for Coach Sansom's Bethany Bison. Free throws, Penn State-Altoona 3 for 3, Bethany 4 of 6. The Lions, of course, having 8 turnovers in the opening 2 quarters. The Bison having just half that amount with 4. But despite forcing 8 turnovers, the Bison have only able to put up 4 points themselves off of those 8 Penn State-Altoona turnovers, something that you know Coach Sansom is not going to be happy about, as they need to be more efficient and capitalize on their opportunities. Bethany edging 19-16 on total rebounds, ahead by just 1 defensively, ahead by 2 offensively, as we're about a minute away from kicking off the third quarter. We see Penn State-Altoona down to your right, talking things over with head coach Haley Adams, assistant coach Mark Sapita, and now the Bison concluding their warm-ups, set to do the same. As we look at the starting 5 to open the third for the Lions, it will be Sarah Houston, Alexis Canish-Tracy, Ellie Matthews, Emily Marines, and Megan Hartman, the same 5 that started the game. Coach Sansom still talking over some tactical adjustments with his team. We'll see the 5 that he sends out would presumably be the same 5 that started the game for him as well. And just like that, it is Lindsey Garrison, Courtney Walker, Ashley Wheeler, Mackenzie Mason, and Taylor Stinnett. The Lions set to move from left to right now on your screen. The Bison will go the reverse from right to left as we're underway here in the third quarter. Marines will lay it off to Houston at the right wing. She'll fake the three-point attempt, kick it out to Marines in the right corner. Now she'll drive inside, layup attempt there. She's caught with the travel in the process. Just 13 seconds into the third quarter, Bison regaining possession, as it'll be Ashley Wheeler bringing the ball up. Feed it inside to Stinnett. Stinnett will kick out to Mason at the right wing. Mason will drive inside. Now turn her back. Stinnett at the right wing, going to Wheeler at the point. Wheeler to Mason at the left wing. Feeding it to Garrison, moving to the point. 8 on the shot clock. Garrison layup attempt there off the backboard, Raymond in. Lindsey Garrison scoring points 3 and 4 of the afternoon, as the Lions have done a great job containing her and her electric start in a Bison uniform. Matthews with the ball on the near side at the right wing. Hartman retrieving at the point. She'll go back to Marines at the right wing. Cross-court pass to Houston now at the left wing, feeding inside to Canish-Tracy. Her jumper, that'll bounce off the rim, controlled by Stinnett. 8:53 to go in the third. Bison ahead by 16. Garrison drive inside again, feed it to Wheeler at the left wing, going to Mason at the right wing, cross-court pass. Mason driving inside, she'll kick out to Stinnett. Stinnett will drive into the paint now, layup attempt there for Taylor Stinnett, off the backboard and in. As the Bison have had 2 possessions and 4 points so far in the third quarter. Marines feed it to Houston, who goes right back to Emily Marines, the freshman from Nantiglow, Pennsylvania. Megan Hartman with the ball now. Canish-Tracy feeding to the far side to Houston. Hartman jumper, that'll bounce in and out and then fall down in. First score of the second half for Penn State-Altoona, as Wheeler quickly pushes the ball forward. Courtney Walker moving away from her defender. That was Ellie Matthews to retrieve. Mason at the left wing, driving inside into the paint. Mason will kick out to Wheeler in the right wing. Wheeler driving inside, layup there for Wheeler, off the rim and in. Bison reestablished the 18-point lead from the layup there by Ashley Wheeler. Hartman at the right wing on the near side. She'll feed it to Houston, moving into the corner. Go inside to Matthews, kick out to Candace Tracy. That'll bounce off the rim, the backboard controlled by Walker. And she'll push forward now. Walker driving into the paint. She'll kick out to Garrison. Garrison now going to drive inside, layup attempt there for Garrison. That'll ricochet off the rim and in. Bison controlling the tempo here in the second half, just 3 minutes in. Ahead by 20 now, 45-25 as that jumper from Candace Tracy. That'll ricochet off the rim, controlled by Mackenzie Mason, quickly going the other way. Mason thought about coast to coast. She'll bounce it out to Wheeler. Her three-point attempt up and good. And just like that, Coach Adams going to call a timeout. It'll be a full timeout, just 3:17 into the second half as the Bison have went on a phenomenal run. They were up 37-23 at the half, and to open this third quarter have went on an 11-2 run as Coach Adams looks to stop the bleeding from her young Penn State-Altoona squad. Just one senior and a pair of juniors. Candace Tracy, the lone senior, Kitco and Houston, the two juniors. All other 10 players for head coach Haley Adams, a sophomore or below. And of course, Penn State-Altoona didn't get to have a season last semester due to COVID-19. The Penn State University Athletic Conference electing not to play other than a pair of scrimmage games against 3 schools amongst the conference. So just 3 players really on this Penn State-Altoona squad that have played in a competitive collegiate game before this season kicked off. Bison able to now set up their full court press as Houston inbounded to Hartman, who escaped some pressure there from Ashley Wheeler, feeding it into Candace Tracy. She'll drive into the paint, cannot control the ball as it'll bounce out of play. Bison will regain possession. Emma Kitco entering in place of Emily Marinas. Wheeler will bring the ball over half court with 6:28. Wheeler making Houston miss, trying to feed it into Heap. Her pass intercepted by Houston. Heap able to get some defense, but not before drawing the foul, as Sarah Houston will go to the free throw line and look to complete the and one. Houston 11 points on the day after that layup. Make it 12 after that free throw bounces a pair of times off the rim. Looked like a pinball bouncing off the back and then the front of the rim before dropping down through the net. Walker will feed it to Mason on the near side, then set the pick. And now Mackenzie Mason caught with the double dribble. The Lions will take over possession once more. Still trailing by 20, 48-28 with 6:04 to go in the third quarter. Houston will inbound to Hartman, who goes right back to Houston, breaking that full court press. Kitco on the right wing. Feed it to Houston down in the corner on the near side, go inside to Candace Tracy. And now Candace Tracy called with the travel, trying to weave between Courtney Walker and Lexi Heap. .547 to go in the third as Wheeler brings the ball over. She'll feed it to Courtney Walker, lays off for Mason. Mason driving into the paint. She'll pivot, find Heap in the far side corner. Courtney Walker, right wing three-pointer, right down the middle as Courtney Walker drills it from distance to reestablish a 23-point lead for the Bison. Kitco laying off for Hartman. Her three-point attempt from the left wing off the rim, controlled by Wheeler. She'll bring the ball now up for Bethany, looking to go coast to coast as she draws the foul in the process. Sarah Houston, the guilty party. Just her first foul of the day, as Wheeler will go to the line. So far this afternoon, Ashley Wheeler 1 for 1 from the free throw line. She makes it 2 for 2, sinking the first one. Jordan Bisignani entering in place of Sarah Houston. As Wheeler looks to double it up in terms of free throws, as she does successfully. 25-point advantage in favor of your Bison, as Megan Hartman sets up shop for the Lions in terms of their offense. She'll go cross court to Kitko at the right wing. Kitko finding Bisignani in the near side corner, who will kick out to Matthews. Matthews now driving inside. She'll kick out to Candace Tracy. Her three-point attempt off the rim, controlled by Courtney Walker. Coach saying some audibly yelling instructions. You can hear it with the headset on. Heap in the corner on the near side. Go right back to Walker at the left wing. Walker driving inside. Layup attempt there for Walker, off the rim and in. And now Kitko will bring the ball across half court. Being defended by Mackenzie Mason. Hartman on the near side. She'll go up top to Candace Tracy. To the far side to Kitko. Bisignani in the far corner, feeding inside to Candace Tracy. Her jumper from just outside the paint, up and good. 4:06 to go in the third. Bison ahead 55-30. Ashley Wheeler continues to run this Bethany offense very frequently. She'll lay it off for Lindsey Garrison. Her three-point attempt will just miss, as it was a few feet short. That'll bounce out of play for Penn State-Altoona to regain possession. Lexi Reed entering in place of Ashley Wheeler. Taylor Stinnett back in for Courtney Walker, getting her first breather of the third quarter. Hartman will run Penn State-Altoona's offense on this possession. As we look ahead to upcoming games for the Lions, three-point attempt there from Kitko, off the rim, controlled by Stinnett. Stinnett forcing the jump ball. Possession will go with the Bison. Tuesday, just 2 days before Thanksgiving, Penn State-Altoona will travel to Eastern Mennonite. That'll be a 5 p.m. tip-off. And then on the 28th, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, away in New York at Alfred State. That's scheduled for a 2 tip-off on that Sunday. Garrison feeding the ball to Heap on the far side, kicking it out to Stinnett. Mason on the near left wing. Mason finding Reed at the right wing. Her three-point attempt, that'll bounce off the rim. Shot clock resets as Lindsey Garrison controls the rebound. She'll work now from the point. Pick there from Stinnett. Garrison driving inside. She'll kick out to Mason. Now Mason going to have a go. Layup there from Mackenzie Mason. That'll roll off the rim. And Mason, trying to go up for the rebound, will be caught with the foul. Competing that time with Ellie Matthews. That will be the second foul of the game for Mason, as the Bison on this possession lay off the full court press. Bisignani on the near side at the right wing. Feed inside to Candace Tracy. Go right back to Bisignani. Her layup attempt blocked by Stinnett, as Stinnett says, "I don't think so." Bison pushing the other way. Mason driving inside. Layup for Mackenzie Mason, off the backboard and in. 27-point advantage with 2:25 to go in the third. Bisignani feeding it to Kitko on the left wing. Defended by Lexi Reed, going cross court to Hartman. Inside to Candace Tracy, back out to Matthews. Her three-point attempt in and out, controlled by Stinnett. Stinnett feeds the ball forward to Mackenzie Mason, laying it off for Garrison. Her three-point attempt right down the middle, and Lindsey Garrison sinks her first three-pointer of the afternoon. saw the success she had at Penn State New Kensington with 9 3-point attempts, breaking the Bethany College school record for most in a single game. And she gets her first here under 2 minutes to go in the third as Megan Hartman replicates that just from the near side corner. Bison ahead by 28. Minute 25 to go. A pair of substitutes set to enter for Penn State-Altoona, one for the Bison, as Reed operates from the right wing on the far side, feeding to Garrison. She'll go into Stinnett. Goes right back to Mason, moving to the right wing. 7 on the shot clock. Reed running out of time, dancing with the ball. Pick from Stinnett. 3-point attempt there from Lexi Reed. That'll bounce in and out, controlled by Candace Tracy. She'll quickly push the ball forward, trying to go coast to coast. She'll hit a jumper from inside the paint, controlled by Mackenzie Mason. And Candace Tracy clearly in some discomfort as Coach Sansom lets Mackenzie Mason know of the play going on behind her. As we have a stoppage with 48.4 seconds left. As Candace Tracy hitting the court very hard. She went up for the rebound. Of course, upcoming games for the Bison. Not until after the Thanksgiving holiday. They head to Franciscan on Wednesday, December 1st. That's scheduled for a 6 o'clock tip-off, the first of the President's Athletic Conference's men's and women's doubleheader as the Bison open conference play. And then on Saturday, December 4th, hosting Grove City at 1 o'clock. Candace Tracy back up on her feet, being helped off by head coach Haley Adams. As she continues to be tended to by the Bison athletic training staff. See Sarah Houston back in for Penn State-Altoona along with Anaya Phillips. She was the second sub. Ashley Wheeler in for Mackenzie Mason. And now the Bison will get play resumed. Wheeler going near side to Walker. Now to Stinnett at the point. Stinnett laying off for Lindsey Garrison. Wheeler on the near side. Going cross court to Lindsey Garrison. As Taylor Stinnett called with the offensive foul, for that matter. Just a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Sarah Houston running the offense, feeding it to Bissignini. And now Ellie Matthews called with the offensive foul, trying to create separation between Bissignani and Courtney Walker. Shot clock will be off with 21 to go in the third. Bison ahead by 28. Wheeler will feed inside to Stinnett. Stinnett back to the hoop, gonna put up the layup. Taylor Stinnett off the rim and in. Game clock down into single digits. Bison a 30-point advantage as Sarah Houston just gonna put it up from distance. That'll bounce off the rim, and that's how she ends in the third quarter. The Bison ahead 62-32. You're watching non-conference women's basketball on the Bethany Broadcasting Network, streamed live on YouTube. We're going to stick here with you in the brief intermission. Of course, Lindsey Garrison made her first three-pointer of the afternoon in that third quarter. 9 points on the day for her after a slow start by her standards, as coming into today through 3 games, a total of 73 points. That 31-point performance against Allegheny was good enough for her to win PAC Offensive Player of the Week. And then, of course, putting up very similar numbers against Penn State New Kensington with 29 points as she looks to go back-to-back in terms of PAC Offensive Player of the Week nominations. We see Sophie Morey back on the court here for head coach Brian Sansom, and when we talked to him after the win against Allegheny, he mentioned that depth is very important. Right now they're sitting around 10 or 11 deep, or that's where they need to be, and by the end of the regular season heading into the tournament, arguably wanting to be able to turn to anybody at any time, as the tournament games are very compact with their schedule. Matthews laying it off to Hartman from the left wing. Her three-point attempt bounced off the rim, and Naya Phillips caught with the foul, going over the top of Lexi Reed. It'll go down as a push against Phillips. Just 25 seconds into the final 10 minutes. Wheeler brings the ball over half court. Aggressive defense there from Houston, trying to intercept, could not. Morey from the point. Stop dead in their tracks, pivot perfectly. Jumper there from Morey, that'll bounce in and out. Controlled finally by Ellie Matthews, but Houston will bring the ball forward. She'll go right back to Matthews at the left wing. Bisignani now far side, rather near side. Now she'll move far side. Jumper three-pointer there from Matthews, well short. 8:59 to go in the contest. Bison ahead 62-32. Wheeler will feed inside to Morey. She'll kick it out to Reed on the near side. Reed able to keep her balance. Morey thought about the three, won't put it up. She'll kick it out to Reed in the near corner. Jumper there from Lexi Reed, blocked by Anaya Phillips. Shot clock down into the single digits. So it'll have to be a quick offensive execution for the Bison. We see Alexis Canish-Tracy back into the game in place of Ellie Matthews. This Canish-Tracy good to go after her injury scare, falling hard to the court. Three-point attempt there from Walker. That'll bounce off the rim. Rebounded cleanly by Houston. Phillips quickly going the other way. Layup there for Anaya Phillips. Missing the net entirely. Controlled by Morey. Finding Lexi Reed, and now Phillips. Rather, it'll be Reed caught with the double dribble. Taylor Stinnett, Mackenzie Mason back in for Sophie Morey, Lexi Reed respectively. Emily Marines entering in place of Megan Hartman. As it'll be Houston, the junior from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Marines feeding it to Bisignani in the near corner. Now moving to the near side wing. She'll go back to Houston up top. Going far side to Marines. Houston with 8 on the shot clock. Scanning, surveying, feeding it inside to Bisignani. 3, kick ball there from Lexi Heap with 1 on the shot clock. Shot clock ultimately going to reset as Ashley Wheeler was caught with the foul. Houston will inbound to Canish-Tracy, who lays it off for Marines. She'll kick out to Bisignani on the far side. Bisignani going to Canish-Tracy, trying to feed inside to Marines. Bit too high for the freshman from Nantiglow, Pennsylvania. With 7:42 to go, Bison ahead by 30. Wheeler feeding inside to Stinnett. Stinnett surveying in the paint. She'll kick out to Wheeler. Mason on the far wing. She'll drive inside. And now Jordan Bisignani caught with the foul. Third foul of the game for Bisignani, the freshman from Venetia, Pennsylvania. Wheeler will try to inbound to Stinnett. She'll fall on top of it, win possession back, but then just shovel the ball out of bounds, trying to go right back to Wheeler, her only option. Garrison intercepting the inbound and puts it up. Lindsey Garrison stealing that one away from the Lions. 32-point advantage for the Bison. Marines driving inside. She'll try to kick out to Houston, but not before she's caught with the travel, trying to maneuver around Lindsey Garrison. 30-second timeout called by head coach Haley Adams of Penn State-Altoona with 7:04 to go. Bison 64-32 out in front of this one. Of course, we talked about limited non-conference games remaining in the Bison schedule, just 2 in the tournament at Marietta College between Christmas and New Year's, facing off against Carnegie Mellon and then the College of Worcester in that tournament. Other than that, it's conference games down the stretch as PAC basketball sees every school play the others twice, once at home, once on the road. And that conference schedule kicks off December 1st. Right down the road in Steubenville against the Franciscan Barons. Wheeler showing off some footwork as she feeds the ball inside to Lexi Heap, but not before Anaya Phillips caught with the foul. Second one against Phillips. Inbound from Wheeler inside to Stinnett. Her layup attempt up and good. Taylor Stinnett tacking on 2 more to this Bison lead. Houston operating from the left wing. She'll feed to Phillips, taking her spot. Go inside to Candace Tracy. Layup attempt there for Candace Tracy. That'll deflect off of Taylor Stinnett, who gets some applause from her head coach. Houston inbounding to Candace Tracy. Shovels it back to Martinez. Phillips now driving inside. She'll go back to Candace Tracy. Jumper from the free throw line. Off the rim and in for Alexis Candace Tracy, the lone senior on this Penn State-Altoona squad. 6:15 to go in the fourth. Bison ahead by 32. 1-2 between Wheeler and Heap. And Wheeler hits the jumper off the backboard and in. Martinez setting up shop this time for the Lions. She'll go to Houston on the near side. Pick there from Candace Tracy as Houston drives inside. That layup no good. That'll ricochet off the rim and bounce away to Mackenzie Mason. 3-point attempt there from Lindsey Garrison. Off the rim, controlled by Stinnett, but Stinnett going over the top. Called with the foul. It'll be Stinnett's 3rd foul of the game as Bisignani lays it off to Houston. Now she'll go to Martinez. Feed inside to Candace Tracy. Lay off for Bisignani. Her shot blocked by Stinnett, but Stinnett caught with the foul. As now Taylor Stinnett in some foul trouble. Samaria Murray entering for her. A trio of substitutions for Penn State-Altoona. Megan Hartman back into the game. DeAsia Speaks, along with Ellie Matthews, back in the game. First free throw attempt there from Bisignani. Off the rim and bouncing out. Her second free throw attempt rolls around, ultimately falls out. Bison keep their 34-point advantage as Mason puts the layup. That'll bounce off the backboard and in for Mackenzie Mason. .5:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Bison ahead 70-34. Bisignani going cross court to Matthews. She'll go right back to Speaks. Defense heavy there from Lindsey Garrison. Phillips feeding inside to Bisignani, trying to get away from Heath. Finally does just enough to put the layup, won't go. Wheeler quickly going the opposite way, feeding inside to Murray. Murray in the paint, her jumper. That'll bounce off the rim, controlled by Ellie Matthews, who lays off for Megan Hartman. To slow things down, 4.5 to go. Hartman near side to Phillips, feeding inside to Matthews. Matthews jumper from just inside the free throw line off the backboard, controlled by Mason. Mason feeding inside to Heap. Heap's jumper, no good. Controlled cleanly that time by Bisignani. Transition's a key part for both sides here in the fourth quarter as they quickly look to run their offenses respectively. Speaks three-point attempt, well short. That'll bounce out of play. And we'll see Marissa Malone along with Jayla Wiseman get their first minutes here with 3:54 to go. Malone, the 5'8" freshman and guard from Lancaster, Ohio. Wiseman, the 5'10" freshman forward from Williamstown, West Virginia. Wheeler on the left wing, driving inside. Ashley Wheeler layup. That'll roll around the rim and in. 72-34, Bison lead, ahead by 38. Hartman calls out instructions, now feeds it to Phillips. Lays off for Bisignani. She'll drive inside to the paint, stripped away from her by Lindsey Garrison. 4-on-2 the opposite way for Bethany. Garrison driving into the paint, and Garrison caught with the charge, who loses her balance and falls right on top of Megan Hartman. Just the second foul of the day for Lindsey Garrison, as Megan Hartman utilized textbook defense to stand her ground and take the charge. Hartman will go cross court to Bisignani. Feed Speaks at the point. Near side to Hartman, her three-point attempt. That'll bounce off the rim. Put back from Hartman, no good. Tipped by Wiseman. Jumper there from Matthews, that one perfect. 36-point advantage now for the Bison. Marissa Malone on the far corner, feeding inside to Murray. Layup there for Samaria Murray off the backboard and in. .232 to go, Bison ahead 74-36. Hartman on the near side, driving inside. Under immense pressure from Wheeler and Garrison. Nice feed inside to Bisignani. Gets nothing more than a hand to it. Wiseman showing her strong dribbling skills, able to maintain possession. Garrison on the left wing near side. And now Coach Sansom calling a timeout to get some subs in with 2:06 to go. Macy Sheenot, Alexis Mahaffey, and Nia Coates. The three subs entering for the Bison. Now we see Emma Kitko back into the game in place of Jordan Bisignani. Malone will inbound to Sheenot, who goes right back to Malone. Sheenot on the left wing near side. Goes right back to Marissa Malone. Trying to feed into Coates. That one stripped away by Megan Hartman. Megan Hartman, her layup attempt off the backboard and in. With 1:46 to go in the fourth. Malone running the offense this time. Feeding to Wiseman, far side, three-point attempt there for Wiseman. Nothing but net for Jayla Wiseman. 77-38. Bison lead, 90 seconds to play. Megan Hartman feeding it to Deasia Speaks near side. Her jumper, that'll bounce off the rim, controlled by Mahaffey. Quickly going the other way, feeding it forward to Wiseman. Wiseman trying to feed inside to Sheenot, well over her head. And we'll see Alyssa Serensky check into this game. Waiting to see who gives way. It'll be Wiseman. Of course, Alyssa Serensky did not play last season due to an injury, so these last 70 seconds will be her collegiate debut. Hartman bringing the ball over half court. Less than a minute to go. Jumper from Hartman off the backboard and in, rather the rim, as Sheenot will underhand pitch it to Malone to inbound. Malone calling out instructions, feeding to Sorensky, going inside to Mahaffey in the paint. Jumper there from Mahaffey, that'll roll around the rim. Put back from Malone, no good. Rebounded by Malone herself. She'll kick out to Coates on the near side. Three-pointer from Coates, off the rim, controlled by Phillips. Sorensky pulling out as Phillips pushes back the other way. Cross-court feed to Kitco. Her three-point attempt near side, well short. Rebounded by Phillips. The putback from Phillips. Malone drawing the foul as Phillips will go to the line for the and one with 22 seconds to go. The Bison ahead 77-40. And Anaya Phillips will complete the three-point play, making the and one. Emily Marinez back on for the final 22 seconds in favor of Megan Hartman. Of course, the shot clock off inside 30 seconds. The Bison just looking to play keep away at this point. The Bison will improve to an overall record of 3-1 heading into the conference opener against Franciscan. Penn State-Altoona will fall to 1-4 with a final score of 77-43. Career win number 51 for head coach Brian Sansom. That'll make it 3 in a row after dropping the Muskingum opener. As we see a tradition coming back we haven't seen in quite some time, players shaking hands after the game. Of course, didn't happen last year due to the pandemic. As the Bison continuing to display effective offense. These last three games, Muskingum was pretty much a wake-up call for head coach Brian Sansom and assistant coach Jen Windmiller to ultimately turn things around after the Bison had that second half collapse. We'll be set to speak with Coach Sansom here shortly, along with a player to be determined at this point. Once it's confirmed who will be chosen to speak to us along with Coach Sansom, be sure to pass that along to you. Leading the way here for the Bison this afternoon in terms of points was Ashley Wheeler with 18, Mackenzie Mason right behind her with 14, Lindsey Garrison, Taylor Stinnett each with 11. As for Penn State-Altoona, Megan Hartman 14 points, Sarah Houston with 12 directly behind her, as it will be Mackenzie Mason set to join us along with head coach Brian Sansom. Of course, Mason, the reigning PAC Newcomer of the Year. First time speaking to us this season. She's live with us now. First of all, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, of course, thank you.
14 points on the day. What went well for you this afternoon?
Honestly, I think what went well for all of us was we just are so comfortable with playing with each other that it's easy to work hard for each other.
You had 14 points, season high for you. How important is that momentum going into conference play?
Oh, it's really important. Ask any of my teammates, I was struggling and I was just kind of in a funk. So them helping me out and keeping my confidence up and me getting 14 points tonight really helped me going into break to work hard and then coming back out of break into conference play.
So, of course, a little bit of a layover ahead of the conference opener at Franciscan. What's the schedule like now for you in terms of getting time off to visit your family and then coming back to prepare for Franciscan?
Yeah, it's going to be really nice to see my family, but they also know how important basketball is, and I already contacted my high school coach and was like, hey, can I get in the gym over break? And he was like, of course. So that's really important that I have somewhere to work out over break.
Of course, being the reigning PAC Newcomer of the Year, the grind certainly doesn't stop. Thank you for taking the time to do this, Mac. Best of luck to you going forward, and congrats on the win.
Thank you, Drew.
She'll pass the headset along to head coach Brian Sansom now joining us. Coach, you picked up career win number 50 at Penn State New Kensington. How does 51 feel here today for you?
Oh, it was good. You know, this is a tough game. This is a really tough game to play when you head into break and everybody's kind of ready to go, get a little bit of a break. But I thought second half we really played better our basketball, and we kind of talked about that, get back to our brand and do what we do. But yeah, 51's nice, and this group makes me look good. You know, they're very talented and they work extremely hard, and it's paying off for them a little bit early.
So today the Lions were very effective in breaking the full court press, especially in the first half. How did you try to contain that breakage of the press, especially in the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, you know, we talked a little bit about it, but we actually, it's funny that happened, because we just mentioned in practice this week after the New Ken game that we're going to play some teams that are going to be able to break our press, so we got to be able to play in the half court. And I think that was a little bit of a shock there initially in the game. And then once we settled in and we kept people in front of us and played our defense, you know, we played a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. We'll go back and watch the film and see where we were failing at, and we'll get better at it.
Over the last 2 days of practice, of course, social media posts showing that you are working on moving defensively as a unit. What did you see from that here this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, it was better. It was better than what it's been. I know it sounds silly because the last two games we gave up, you know, out of 30-some and 20-some. It sounds silly, but when it gets in the half court, what you saw a little bit in the first half, that we struggle to move together. Like when there's the rotation, the next person has to move. So we thought a little bit outside the box. I saw it on Instagram, and I said, let's just see if this works for us, and it has.
3 wins heading into the conference opener at Franciscan. How important is that going forward?
Oh, it's huge. You know, going into break 3-1, we're young. You know, anytime we can win, and however we win, it's really important because you know, you got to learn how to win. Winning's a habit, and as we continue to move forward with that, I hope we continue to win more, and they keep having confidence.
Okay, it's going to wrap it up here for Coach this afternoon. Coach, thank you again.
Thank you.
We're going to be joined by Ashley Wheeler as well here in just a second, putting on the headset now. Ashley, you had 18 points this afternoon leading your team. What went well for you today?
Pretty much attacking the basket. I mean, most of those points, they come from my teammates. I mean, off the pass, they're attacking, off the drive, Lindsay putting up shots here and there. It wasn't shooting the ball well. All of us weren't. So, and we did well getting to the basket, so that's what we were going for.
You led the team as well today with 31 minutes out of 40 played. Is that something you're comfortable with doing on a nightly basis, playing much of the game?
Most definitely. I mean, coming out of the game, I mean, obviously I'm going to have an important role as well, as long with everyone else on the team. I mean, I love being on the floor. Coach trusts me on the floor. I trust every single one of them girls on the floor as well. So it's phenomenal being out there.
And then one final question here. Much of the game that you were on the court, you were running the offense, calling out the plays. What does that mean to you, being in your first year, just 4 games into the season, having the trust from your coaching staff to be able to take that leadership role?
I mean, at times he gets a little frustrated with me, but that's a learning curve. You know, as a freshman, I've still got 3 more years to get under my belt. So it's something to have trust with coaches and trust with your teammates. I mean, that's what a championship team is about. And I think that we definitely have that. And every day we get on the court, continue to get out there, execute the plays. I mean, coach is a big thing on that. So as long as we keep doing that, I can keep doing my job.
Okay, Ashley, thank you for taking the time to do this. Enjoy the Thanksgiving break and get ready for Franciscan.
Thank you.
It's going to wrap up our post-game coverage there. 2 player interviews along with Coach Sansom. Once again, your final score here this afternoon. Bethany 77, Penn State-Altoona 43. We'll be back with coverage of the men's basketball contest Tuesday afternoon against Pitt Greensburg, followed by both teams playing at home Saturday December 4th against Grove City. This has been Drew Von Sayo and Bethany Broadcasting Network's coverage of non-conference basketball, streaming live on YouTube.